virtual JCC. My name is Rachel Ribko, and I am excited to interview a very special guest today. Before I introduce her, just a friendly reminder to go to virtualjcc.com, click register in the top right-hand corner. Then you'll be able to watch our phenomenal selection of live videos and on-demand content, which is updated daily. This is a time of stress, uncertainty, and confusion for all of us, and it can be an especially stressful time for children. Our guest today has created an amazing tool to educate children about the COVID-19 pandemic and answer their questions in an honest, age-appropriate way. Before we welcome our guest, let me tell you a little bit about her. Marissa Kassam is the author of the children's coloring book Goodnight Zoom, which she co-created with designer Lee Walderman and illustrator Alex Walderman. Marissa is also Vice President of Philanthropy for Royal Bank of Canada Capital Markets and is responsible for managing the capital markets donation budget and encouraging community engagement and volunteerism. Before joining RBC in 2013, Marissa previously worked at JP Morgan in New York, Hong Kong, and London. She also spent time in Uganda writing a research report on mobile money for the Grameen Foundation. She is a graduate of the Ross School of Business at the university and now lives in Toronto with her husband Moez. Marissa's proudest accomplishments are her two young daughters, Maddie and Mila. Welcome, Marissa, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank
How's
you
it
for having
going?
me.
Our
It's
pleasure.
good.
How has social distancing been treating you so far?
Well, I think I've been really busy, so it's nice. I feel fortunate to be back at work, but have more time to spend with my two daughters at home. So I've been enjoying it. I feel like I'm one of the lucky ones. How about
Good.
yourself?
Yes, I can see you have a very busy day-to-day life. Yeah, it's been all good. I'm holed up with my husband and my dog, and now we're staying healthy and safe, and I have no complaints. Everybody I love is all good, so that's all I really need. Okay, so let's get into your coloring book, which I loved. I flipped through it yesterday. It is so visually appealing and beautiful, and I thought that the message was really so positive. So can you start just by telling us a little bit about the project, what it is, and how it came to be?
So Goodnight Zoom is a free coloring book that you can actually download online at www.goodnightzoom.ca. And it's a kid-friendly, gentle explanation of the coronavirus for children. I know a lot of young moms are stuck at home with their kids and looking for an activity. So it's a great thing to print out at home, have your kids color, read them, and explain to them what's going on. The most impressive thing I think about Goodnight Zoom is that it explains the coronavirus to children in a positive light. So the main theme of it is ending with gratitude and being thankful for everything we have and thankful for this time at home as well.
Yeah, I loved that. And I thought that that was something not only for children, but for all of us to remember to focus on being grateful for what we have. And also, I noticed that you had a focus on helping others and what we can do, which helps us, I
Yeah.
think, feel less helpless. And I think, again, that's positive for all of us, no matter what age we are. Okay, so my next question for you is you're obviously very busy. You have two young children, you have a full-time job, which has a lot of responsibility from what it sounds. Your hands are full. Why did you feel it was important to make the time to take on this project?
Well, I'm in addition to my role in, I'm actually doing an executive program at Penn in social impact, and a lot of the work requirements for you to have your own social venture. And while I do manage our donations budget at RBC, I didn't have my own social venture to speak to. So I actually wrote this book in conjunction with that and put it together. I've been rhyming my whole life, like birthday cards, etc. It comes fast to me, so it wasn't that time consuming. And after I wrote it and sent it to my friends, they loved it so much. And I was like, maybe we could do something bigger with this. So I have a family friend, Alex, who's very creative. She's actually a makeup artist and she does mostly weddings, etc. So she obviously, clearly, with social distancing and events being halted for now, she didn't have much to do. So she took this quite seriously and did the illustrations. And we actually put it together over a weekend. And then her
It's
sister
phenomenal.
yeah, and then her sister put it in the PDF, and then I'm lucky to have a lot of contacts that were able to help me spread the word. And we had like a big social media launch, and there was an article in the Toronto Star this weekend focused on Mother's Day and moms doing creative things, and this was an example. So we've been lucky to get a lot of local press. We're just hoping to get the book in as many children's arms as possible.
It's a really cool project, and I feel like it came right at the right time. Like, you really touched on a need that I think parents have when the world is feeling very overwhelming right now, and this is almost like a gift that you delivered to them to help them explain to their kids what's going on. So it really could not have come at a more perfect
Thank
time.
you. Thank you.
So talking a little bit about the rhyming, that was one of my questions. Why did you decide to have the book rhyme? And now you just said you were a natural born rhymer, but was that a strategy to help kids digest the information more easily?
Honestly, it all came because of the rhyming. Because I'm used to rhyming, and it's like something I've been doing my whole life. So when I put it together, um, it was a poem to begin with. The idea came because I was reading to my daughter Goodnight Moon, and then I was thinking how these days it's Goodnight Zoom, and I was like I should really write a poem about that. So it's kind of just like a creative release.
It's very cool, and it almost gives it kind of like a Seussical quality that I really love to it. I thought that was awesome. Okay, so speaking of your children, have you tested out the coloring book on them, and what did they think of it?
Yes, they really enjoyed it. They're a bit young. So my 7-year-old nephew, I feel like got more out of it. He really understood the story and thought it was great. And he's annoyed that he can't do his extracurriculars or go to school and see his friends. So I think he really understood it. My 3-year-old's having the best time that I'm still home and not at work. So she has colored it. What I've actually colored it as well. We did an adult coloring challenge because coloring is actually quite therapeutic. So we're
Yes.
actually seeing that it actually appeals to a broad range of ages.
Yeah, I love coloring too, and I love doing those adult sticker books. I find all of that stuff super, super soothing. And that actually brings me to, if anybody has or does color the beautiful coloring book after this interview, you can upload your pages to Instagram using the tag goodnight.zoom and the hashtag goodnightzoom, and you can see all of the other beautiful artwork from the book that other people have created.
Here is my adult coloring attempt.
Let's put in the lines. Well done. Okay, so obviously this isn't what your profession is by chance. So is there a particular children's book author, illustrator who inspires you that you kind of wanted to model this product after, that your children love?
It's funny that you said it was Seussical-esque because I actually love all the Dr. Seuss books. Um, so I guess Dr. Seuss is my favorite children's author, but I think this was different than any other children's book because the whole idea was it for it to be in print and black and white, so it could be a coloring book. So I don't really have. I had contacted a few illustrators, but I think Alex was perfect in the drawing she did, and I think this if we're going to be staying at home more often these days, I think the idea of books that you can print out at home instead of reading the same hardcover over and over again. And then books that can also be coloring books because my daughters want to color and rip the pages out of a lot of their books. So this one's a little bit more stress free.
Yes, anything interactive that kids can stick their fingers into right now, I think is a good thing and get some of that energy out. Okay, so if you had to say the one message or lesson that you want kids to take away from the coloring book, what would it be?
I think it would be a big thank you. Thank you to frontline workers, and that's definitely how the book ends. And like you said, seeing the positive and helping others, and just really being thankful for this time that we get to spend at home together and not looking at this in a negative light or being the end of the world, but really a realization and time for moving forward.
I certainly echo your sentiments. I think it's so important for us all to stay positive right now, and I commend you for doing something to help people shift to that mindset and to help their children shift that way as well. So thank you so much. I love the coloring book. It is phenomenal. Once again, I encourage you all to go and download it, color it in, share your designs on Instagram, use the tag goodnight.zoom. And Marissa, we know that our JCC families will love it and they're going to take some great lessons from it. So thank you for sharing it with us and congratulations on all of your success in this amazing project.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure speaking with you. And for those of you who have children, don't miss our JCC McCubby Mini Ballers program today at 4 p.m. on virtualjcc.com. Marissa, thank you so much again for
Thank
speaking with me
you.
today. Have a great, take care, everyone.